I used to think I was fine. I wasn't crying. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't spiraling. I was working. I was replying to messages. I was laughing at memes and showing up to meetings. But something inside me felt off. Like I was a ghost in my own life. Everything looked normal from the outside, but inside I felt numb, empty, disconnected. There were moments where I'd suddenly zone out mid-conversation, not because I didn't care, but because my mind was somewhere else. Somewhere that didn't feel safe. People said things like, "You're so composed. You're so calm. You're so strong." But that calm was dissociation. That composure was emotional shutdown. That strength was just me surviving without letting anyone see the cracks, and I didn't even realize it was trauma. No big tragedy, no headlines, just small moments over the years of not feeling safe, not being heard, not being held. It added up slowly, quietly, if you've ever looked around and thought, why do I feel so weird when everything seems okay? This video is for you because trauma doesn't always scream, sometimes it whispers. And it lives in your habits, your relationships, your body. Today, I want to show you 7 hidden signs that unresolved trauma might still be shaping the way you live without you even knowing. And by the end of this video, you'll begin to see yourself with gentler eyes. The thing about trauma is it's not always obvious. Most people imagine trauma as something loud, explosive, a war zone, a car crash, a violent memory. But the kind of trauma I'm talking about today is different. It's quieter. It slips into the room unnoticed. It lingers in your nervous system long after the danger is gone. I didn't grow up in a war zone. I didn't experience a single catastrophic event, but I lived in a house where emotions weren't safe, where silence was heavy, where walking on eggshells was just normal. And when you grow up like that, your body learns that being relaxed is dangerous, that being seen might get you punished, that trusting someone too much will only end in pain. So what do? We adapt. We don't even know we're doing it, but we build these small, quiet habits to stay safe. Like, we people please not because we're kind, but because conflict feels like a threat. We avoid phone calls, not because we're lazy, but because unexpected interactions make our heart race. We overwork not because we're ambitious, but because slowing down makes the feelings come up. We laugh in serious moments, not because it's funny, but because humor is safer than vulnerability. We stay busy all the time, not because we're productive, but because silence feels dangerous. And the world rewards us for it. They call us strong, hardworking, easygoing. But underneath that performance is a body still stuck in survival mode. See, trauma isn't just what happened to you. It's also what didn't happen. You didn't get comfort. You didn't get safety. You didn't get to feel seen or understood. And when those things are missing for long enough, your brain wires itself to expect more danger, even when there's none. So we grow up thinking, I'm just anxious. I'm just weird. I'm just bad at relationships. But that's not the truth. You were just never given the emotional tools to feel safe. And so your body became the armor. But here's the thing. Even armor gets heavy when you carry it long enough. So what does hidden trauma actually look like? Here are 7 signs I started recognizing in myself long before I even realized they were trauma responses. And maybe you'll recognize them too. 1. You feel uncomfortable around people, even the ones you like, not because you don't care, but because your body doesn't trust connection. You smile, you nod, you talk, but deep down you feel unsafe. You're always calculating. Did I say the wrong thing? Are they judging me? You're not being paranoid. Your nervous system is just trying to protect you from rejection that feels too familiar. 2. You shut down or isolate when things get hard. Some people fight, some cry, but maybe you disappear. You freeze, ghost people, ignore calls, not because you don't care, but because stress overwhelms your system. This is called the freeze response. It's the body's way of saying, "This is too much. I need to disappear to survive." 3. You overreact to small things and hate yourself for it later. Someone being 5 minutes late makes you feel abandoned. A critical tone makes your stomach drop. You're not being too sensitive. You're being triggered, and when trauma is stored in the body, the past leaks into the present, even when nothing dangerous is happening, for you struggle with closeness in relationships. You might crave intimacy, but push it away the moment it gets real. You keep people at arm's length, not because you don't want love, but because love once hurt, and now your body confuses safety with danger. 5. You're always on alert, even when you're relaxing. You lie in bed, but your jaw is clenched, your shoulders tense. You can't fully exhale. It's like your system never got the memo that the war is over. Because your body's default state is preparation. 6. You feel disconnected from yourself. Sometimes it feels like you're floating outside your body. You smile and talk, but feel like a stranger inside your own skin. This is called dissociation, and it's a common trauma response, especially in people who had to check out of reality to survive it. 7. You feel numb, emotionless, or muted. You're not sad, not angry, not joyful, just flat. This isn't a personality flaw. It's what happens when your system has suppressed emotion for so long that it no longer knows how to feel safely. And without safety, the nervous system chooses silence. These signs don't make you broken. They make you someone who learned how to survive, but survival is not the same as healing. And the good news is, what was once wired in for protection can also be rewired for peace. But what I've learned is, healing doesn't always look like transformation. Sometimes it looks like reconnection, tiny acts, daily choices, a quiet return to safety. Here are a few gentle habits that help me begin the journey back to myself. 1. Name what you're feeling. It sounds simple, but for someone who's disconnected from emotions, even naming, "I feel overwhelmed," is an act of courage. Every time you identify what you're feeling, you're telling your brain you're safe enough to notice. 2. Create small moments of control. Trauma often comes from a loss of power, so choose what you eat, rearrange your room, light a candle. It doesn't have to be big, just something that reminds you, this space belongs to me. 3. Practice grounding when your mind spins. When anxiety hits, try the 5-4-3-2-1 method. 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, 1 you can taste. Bring your awareness back to now. Because the past may be loud, but the present is where healing begins. 4. Learn to pause instead of react. Before you reply to that text, before you say yes when you want to say no, pause, take 1 breath, 1 beat, and ask, am I doing this from fear or from truth? 5. Rebuild trust with your body. Trauma disconnects us from our physical selves, so stretch, shake, touch your chest and say, I'm here. Movement is medicine, even if it's just swaying to music or walking barefoot for a minute. 6. Let safe people in slowly. You don't have to spill your entire story. Start with eye contact, a conversation that doesn't feel threatening. A moment of being heard without judgment, because safety isn't built in 1 leap, it's built in inches. 7. Replace what's wrong with me with what happened to me. This single shift changed everything. Because I'm not broken, I'm just someone who adapted, and now I get to choose new ways of being. Healing doesn't mean the pain never happened. It means it no longer controls how I breathe, how I love, how I live. It means I get to come home to myself, 1 gentle habit at a time. You're not weak. You're someone who learned how to survive in a world that didn't always feel safe, and that survival took strength. But now that you're here, aware, breathing, you get to do something different. You get to heal. You get to reconnect. You get to take off the armor piece by piece, not all at once, not perfectly, but gently, bravely, 1 small moment at a time. So if you're on this path too, leave a comment below and tell me. Which sign resonated with you the most? And if you haven't yet, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need it today, because trauma may be silent, but yours healing can be loud.